Hi guys. I made this video and it was like 12 minutes long, and then I realized that friends and family is down on the list, so I don't have to talk about how my parents took it until that week. So yeah. Coming out. I hate coming out. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I really just want it to be done, but honestly, it's never over. Coming out is a continual process. It's always going to be there. And even, 10 years from now, if I'm completely transitioned and I'm still going to one day probably have to tell my kids. I'm going to have to still deal with, if I ever want to disclose or something, I'm going to have to come out again. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. I really don't like it. It's just something I'm over, kind of. But yeah, I came out as transgender a year and a half ago. I came out as liking girls even longer ago. And I have the basic transgender narrative. I was born and I was like, I'm a boy! And everyone was like, no you're not. And I was like, yes I am! No you're not. I will be anyway! So I have the typical trans narrative of, knowing I was a boy when I was younger, getting told I wasn't, being okay until puberty hits, depression hits. So yeah, so I came out as liking girls. I don't even really remember. It wasn't that significant to me because it didn't fix anything. It helped a little bit, but it didn't fix my depression. And I had a severe depression. Yeah, it was bad. I might make videos on it one day, but I don't feel like it tonight. But I was extremely depressed, very clinically depressed, and everyone could tell. And coming out as liking girls helped a little bit, but not really. And I never identified as a lesbian. I identified as gay because lesbian is women loving women, and I didn't see myself as a girl. So I came out, and there really wasn't a community for me. The community in my area is dealt mainly at night in bars, things like that. We don't really have that much of a community. Not that I'm bashing the community we have, but really, we don't have that much of a community. Especially when you are a little kid, about to go into college or whatever. There's not really a place for you, nor was there at my college. So I didn't really know much about it. I was like, yeah, I like girls, therefore this is this. And and I got a new job, one of my jobs. There was someone who is trans used to work there, and they stopped working there, and like 2 other people stopped working at the same time, so I got one of their spots. And so when I got there, it was still pretty like, hey, did you hear about what's their face? Like, there, blah blah blah. And all I heard was like negative things. So I was like, okay, a whole bunch of gay people are telling me that trans is bad and not good and blah blah blah. So I assumed it was something that, was not a part of my community, was, just nothing, a bad thing. It wasn't until going to one of my internships that when I left Alabama and went to a very queer-friendly place, and met a whole bunch of people from around the world, I learned that I was wrong. I met my girlfriend, Megan, in that internship, and like a month or 2 into dating, we were laying down in bed one night and we were talking, and I was like, I don't like the word lesbian. I don't identify as lesbian. I don't identify as butch. I don't even identify as femme. Like, I don't use it to identify myself. And you know what? I like it when people call me Jimmy. Jimmy was a nickname I had at the time. And I like it when you treat me like a boy. And I like it when you are the girl and I'm blah 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 blah, And I just went on this whole like talk. It wasn't a tangent, it was more of a talk. She was asking me like about my community. And Megan goes, baby, you ever think you might be trans? And I was like, no, I'm not trans. Are you kidding me? What's that? And I basically like was really derogatory to it, but that was all I knew. Like, I didn't know any positive. No one had ever told me. I knew it as a derogatory thing. So she was like, no, you're wrong, and explained it. She has a friend who was transitioning at the time and everything, and was a part of an awesome organization at her university that explained everything to her. So she knew it, and she knew it as not a derogatory thing. And I was like, oh my god, what? You can do that, and you're not crazy and a sex deviant and all this other stuff? Oh my god. And it was really, a big deal for me. And I was just about to turn 20, And I ended up the next day like looking for some stuff, but I didn't know where to look. And I looked on the computer, and I found like bi-gender, genderqueer, and I was like, well, I don't feel comfortable saying I'm FTM, because that was a really big label to me, like FTM. I know it doesn't mean this, but I was like, hormone, surgery, do I really want to do that? I need research. That's the kind of person I am, I research. And I started to identifying as genderqueer around my 20th birthday, and I'm almost 20, I'll be 22 in October now. So I identified as genderqueer, and I kind of did more research on like what T does to you, and like what surgery does, and all that. So I left my internship. It was only 6 months. It was out of state, and I came back home, and I was like, I can't. Also, my parents found out that I was dating a girl, so that was fun. I come back home, and I was like, I have to do something about this. I can't keep just saying that I'm one thing, because I'm not, and I can't handle people thinking I'm not now that I know this, because I really left like a really safe place back here. Not that it's not safe, but at the time it wasn't. And I started to YouTube, and I found some people on YouTube that I watched and everything, and that really helped. And I decided that I would take steps, baby steps. I would start by binding, then later on I would go to packing, and then later on name change, blah blah blah. As soon as I started binding, it was over. I was trans. I knew it. Started to identify as transgender. Lost a lot of people in the process. I don't actually go to one area at my college anymore, because that's where I used to hang out, and it's just not the same. So I started to identify as transgender, not really genderqueer, not really FTM. As one of my friends put it, I was straddling that pony. I ended up coming out to my girlfriend, which I'll explain later how that all went down. She was amazingly supportive, and you know, just amazing, and gave me the courage that I needed, and the boost I needed to say I'm doing hormones, I'm doing surgery, blah blah. Which I actually assumed, like that night that Megan had explained everything to me, I was like, I'm getting top surgery, I hope you're okay with that. But the hormones was the thing for me. It was a big change. So yeah, I ended up then coming out to my friends, and then my family, and here I am today. My views on coming out, of course I don't like it, but it is a process, like I said in the very beginning. It is something I'll probably always have to do. It kind of sucks. This whole year I've been educating people, and I'm about to go to Washington. Well, no one will know me, and as soon as I get there, I'm starting hormones. So a couple months on hormones, no one's gonna even know. I'm kind of looking forward to that. I feel kind of like a sellout, but I am looking forward to that. Let's see what else. That's pretty much how I came out, was finding out, and then education through myself, and then taking the plunge. I started therapy last August, and I identified as transgender for about 6 months before that. And then genderqueer for about 6 months before that. So technically you could say been out as 2 years, but I don't really claim the whole genderqueer thing, because I wasn't binding, I wasn't doing anything, I was just researching, a lot of research. So yeah, I'm really fortunate. Even though I live in Alabama, I have an amazing family, I have amazing friends, and I work for some really awesome places that are as accepting as they can for me. So I'm lucky. There is people who are trans in Alabama who I know are trans from YouTube, or because I've seen them at an event saying they're trans, but I've never really known how to approach them. So that's always been awkward for me. One of the best things, though, about being president of Q&A was I was able to educate and make a place on my university for people who are freshmen. All my freshmen in my club, they know what trans is. And that was my biggest thing, probably. But I'm rambling now. That's my coming out story. Hope you liked it. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to next week. So yeah, talk to y'all later.